Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to All About Me, Motivation, Innovation, and Inspiration for you and you and you. My name is Tony Taylor, if we haven't met before, and if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, I just want to say a special thank you for taking time to watch this video. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about what these videos mean and what they're all about, so you can understand for the next 20 minutes what you're in store for. So number one, the motivation in this component of these videos is simply I am motivated by the good news of the saving and finished work of Jesus Christ on the cross. And it is in me to share that good news with each and every one of you viewers in a fun, relatable, relevant, innovative, which is the innovation component way. And I'm inspired simply by God's true word, the Bible. I'm inspired by stories I hear at church. I'm inspired by my own experiences that God has done work in me through, or even friends or relatives or any other stories that I've heard that God's light is just shining bright through, and I want to share them with all the viewers as well. So that's where the motivation, innovation, and inspiration comes from. So it's not really about me per se, it's about you, the viewers. So I hope that gives you a little indication, and this is for wherever you're at in your faith journey for you to watch these videos, because let's face it, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher, I'm just a child of the one true King. And that is, He told us, called us as Christians not to go to church, but to be the church. So it's in me to share the good news, and this is my way I'm going to do it. So again, wherever you're at, whether you're best friends with the Lord or if this will be the first time you've ever heard a Bible verse, I'm just glad you took time to watch this video. So, with that said, we're just going to start the Cinco de Mayo version of All About Me for you. And with that, anybody out there celebrate Cinco de Mayo? I think Fozzie Bear does. Guaca guaca. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is yeah, I know. Some of my new viewers just turned it off already. And please believe that if you've continued on past that joke, you've already made it farther than most of the viewers. Because believe me, when I first said that joke a couple days ago, my wife almost threw me out the door with embarrassment of how terrible that joke is. No, I'm kidding. She didn't do that. She just shook her head, as many of my cheesy jokes go. And you guys can throw the tomatoes whenever you want. So with that, we're past that joke for now. But I'm actually going to dive right in to the Bible, and the story that's gotten me on fire to share this part of it with you. So, if you have a Bible at home, or if you have it on your phone or anything like that, if you ever follow along with me when I'm in the Bible, go ahead and open it up to John 1, not to be confused with 1 John, that's the difference. So, John 1. So, first I just want to just read the first verse to you. The first chapter, the first verse, the verses 1 through 5 in John 1. It's amazing just to hear this. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through Him, and without Him nothing was made that was made. So think about just that verse alone. All things were made through Him, and without Him nothing was made that was made. So everything we see, my hat, my shirt, my wristbands, my shorts, whatever, nothing was made that, without Him, nothing was made that was made. So God's hand is in absolutely everything that we have around us in some crazy way, shape, and form. It's just amazing to see all of God's creation come to life. And I'm going to continue reading here. It says, in Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Now I know you're already thinking, you see that the name of this video is lighted up, so you can see where I got the inspiration. Here we are again. There's my eye, my second eye. The inspiration for this message. There's so much darkness in this world right now. There is darkness that surrounds us in many, many times, and I've said it before, that's the sin of this world that is still in this world that can consume us. And I think it's a scary, scary situation, and I think of the situation in Nepal with the earthquake, I think of the Baltimore riots, I think of a scary doctor diagnosis, think of all these things, that darkness just is all around us, but still the sun shines. With nightfall, the sun will rise the next day. And that's just part of God's promise that as it says here, that and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. So again, darkness didn't win. Jesus, the light of the world, defeated death. Okay, I'm going to continue on here, and then this is where I'm calling you, the viewer, to action. So, there was a man sent from God whose name was John. Go figure that this is the Gospel according to John, and this is his story. So, there was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. So, here's John. You can insert your name in this any way you want, in place of John. So, there was a man sent from God whose name was, insert your name here. This man came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. So, he's doing exactly what I'm attempting to do here, what many, if not all Christians should aspire to do, is be a witness to the light that all through him might believe. Now, you see, we are, C.S. Lewis has a very a very great quote that I'm sure I've said in a video in the past, but I always like sharing it. It says, "Shine so that others might not see you, but shine that others might see him through you." So in that, you shine in a way, you present yourself in a way that in you others may see the love of Christ, the light of Christ in you, the love of God in you. So ask yourself, are you patient? Are you forgiving? Are you slow to anger? All these attributes of the only one and perfect Son in Jesus Christ. Now, I know because we're human, none of us are going to be perfect. None of us are going to be forgiving all the time. None of us are going to be kind all the time. None of us are going to be compassionate all the time. But that's why God sent His only Son, why He sent Christ, to take our place for the sin that we've committed in the past, that we commit daily, and that we will commit in the future. Past, present, and future, it is finished. It's just an amazing thing. So, I want to continue on here. And it says, he was not that light. Now again, see, it's showing that John isn't that light. He's not Jesus, but was sent to bear witness of that light. See, we're all called to shine that light, and we're not all called to shine it in the same way. And so, bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. So Jesus is the true light that gives light to every person, every human being that comes into the world. He was in the world, again this is Jesus, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. So here is this guy that I think this happens a lot. Again, this is if you're just a casual Christian, I think this happens a lot, where you kind of put, God and Jesus, you put God in the back seat and kind of break the glass in case of emergency, and then you go to him, you turn to him. But in reality, what he wants to do is he wants to be the driver. He wants to take the wheel and wants you to be the co-pilot. I just firmly believe that I used to do that. I will admit that. I was selfish. I was very full of myself, but when I finally turned my priorities around and realized that he needed to be in the driver's seat, I just needed to let go and let him take the wheel and steer. And so it's almost like we go on and we believe there's something, everything happens for a reason, but we don't give credit to what that reason is. And we just think it's all about us. We can be successful if we only do this, this, and this. We can have more wealth if we do this, this, and this. We will stay healthy if we do this, this, and this. But no, I've said in my videos in the past, and again, if you're a new viewer and this is your first one, then you're just hearing me say it for the first time. But we need to surrender all to Him. It's not here. You can take 4 out of the 5 things, and then I'm going to handle my finances. You can't touch that, God, or you know what? I can handle my relationships. You don't need any say in that. No, we need to surrender all to Him. He surrendered all of Himself on the cross, not just for part of us or our joy in life or our wealth. He did it for every one of us, for all of us, all of you. So, with that, he continues to say, or he continues to say in here, he came to his own, and his own did not receive him. So again, he came to his own. He came to the flesh. He came to He came to men, but they did not receive him. They did not want him. They wanted to do it on their own. So he did not receive him, but as many received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God. So again, I was distant at that point, at a point in my life where I did not receive him, but when I did, he gave that right for me to become a child of God. To those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. So that again, John was called to witness, to be a witness of that light. Not to be. He's not that light, but he's called to witness to that light. And I want to just continue just how humbled John is when, you know, he's baptizing people and he's doing it and here's the crazy thing. So these Pharisees come to John and ask him, you know, assume that he must be some kind of prophet, or he must be some kind of, maybe he's even, you know, he's a bigger deal because clearly he's doing the work of Christ. So, and he even confessed, and he said, because they said, who are you? And he confessed and did not deny, but confessed, I am not the Christ. He right away says, I'm not Jesus. And believe me, I always joke around with people, like when, you know, sometimes you bump into people and you kind of get startled, like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, people do that a lot, and I'll always say, oh no. I'm just, you know, I'm just a man trying to live his way, but I'm not him. You know what I mean? So I kind of sarcastically say it and kind of, you know, it's you know, it's kind of my sense of humor that comes out like that. But again, I'm not him. I'm trying to be like him. I'll never be exactly like him, but I'll do my best to be as close to him as I can every single day. So, and again, we'll all fall short of that. Perfection is unattainable, so I hate to put a rain on your parade there, but guess what? None of us are going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. So, now that I've cleared that up, he said, I am not the Christ. And they asked him, what then? Are you Elijah? He said, I am not. Are you the prophet? He answered, no. Then they said to him, who are you, then that we can give an answer to those who sent us? What do you say about yourself? He said, I am as the prophet Isaiah said. Now, those who were sent there were from the Pharisees. Again, the guys that were sent were from the Pharisees. And they asked him, saying, then why then do you baptize if you're not the Christ, nor Elijah, and nor the prophet? And John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there stands one among you, again, this is Jesus, among you, whom you do not know. It is he who is coming after me, and is preferred before me, whose sandal I am not worthy to, leather sandal strap I am not worthy to lose. So again, John paints a beautiful picture there that Jesus is the one preferred before us, the ultimate perfection, and he's going to come after us to clean up, and he cleans up our mess that we made. He took our mess and put it on the cross. And so in the middle of those things, for when he's coming after us and the one that's preferred above us, we are in the middle to be that light, to give witness of his light, to show the world the good news of him, and that through us, maybe one might believe. Again, we are called to be the church, not just go to church, but be the church. Now, I feel like some of you watching this may feel like, well, I'm not qualified. I don't think my light might not be able to shine as bright as others who are pastors or priests, or, you know, have a connection or know the Bible front to back. And guess what? I don't know the Bible front to cover. I may not be able to spout off verses off the top of my head without looking in here. I'm not perfect. I'm telling you, again, that nobody on this earth is perfect. There's only one perfect person that walked this earth, and he walks with you every single day. And again, that is the Son of God, Jesus Christ, the only perfect one out here. So, until he returns again, none of us are going to be perfect. So, with that, I want to give you a challenge. Just little by little, take those steps to shine your light a little bit brighter in all this darkness. Again, with these earthquakes, these officer shootings, there's so much just, it kind of makes me sick, but at the same time, it's the same way God probably feels when he sees and knows all this sin that's going on, to know that there's so many of us that are just waiting for our moment, waiting for us to get called to something else before we step in and bring some peace, bring some hope to these individuals in Nepal, in Baltimore, and all these other situations, these missing kids, these missing people. It's nauseating, but it's the Christian in us. It's the Christians that should be out there giving peace to these people and sharing the good news that there is greater news than any news that you're going to ever see when you turn on the TV. That all the bad stuff that's going on has already been taken care of. Christ has already defeated death. So there is life. There is a relationship waiting to be started for those who don't have Christ already. So if you haven't, I strongly encourage you to start. Now, with that, I want to share with you another kind of story, another where I'm seeing the light projected in a way that is, to me, again, where I often sometimes feel not qualified to maybe even share these messages. Because again, I'm imperfect. I may not be the best speaker. I may not say the right verse. I know a number of times where I've done a message and I've said a verse, and then I've looked later in my Bible and said, oh, I did that verse wrong. So again, I'm not perfect. I think I've probably said it enough times, you get the point. But here's the thing. My wife and I are part of this group at a church. And this group is called Guppy. Now, a good friend of mine introduced me to it. Her aunt, her cousins, and all these other family members are involved in this. And this group stands for God's Unique People Praising Yahweh. Now, I can't deny that all God's people are unique. But the thing that I want to share with you is all these individuals that are part of this Guppy, other than the people that run it, like I said, my good friend's aunt, and some of the other people that sing the songs and stuff like that, and that are kind of in the choir for it, are all developmentally delayed, handicapped in some way, and some of them are to a chair and don't even speak. Now, put that into perspective for a second. Many of us are very blessed to be able to walk, to talk, to motion with our hands, to express emotion, do all these things. But some of these individuals, like I said, are in a chair and not even talking. But every week that I go, I am so humbled to see these individuals that are just on fire for the Lord. We're singing songs, they're lifting their hands in praise, they're shouting it out loud that God is good. And I can't tell you just how amazing that is to see that these people that often many would look at and just disqualify them from many different activities or count them out, and they were probably picked on a lot. But you know what? These individuals' light shines brighter than, I don't know, it's just amazing to see it shine so bright and to see them just on fire, to see their faces glow when we're reading Bible stories, when we're telling stories of God's amazing work in their lives, and to hear what they're praying for. It's just so humbling to see, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that. And just recently, the last time I met with this group, I was just completely humbled and floored again. I'm going to tell you a story about a guy that, again, you think you may not have what it takes to share the good news, or, you know, you just don't feel qualified to do this type of thing, to share the good news. You want to hold it into yourself until you feel that God has called you to something, or you want to do plans your own way and say you can succeed on your own. There's a guy that I met. His name is Jeffrey Smith. Now, I know that may sound popular because Jeffrey is kind of a common name and Smith is kind of a popular name, last name. But this guy is just, I can't tell you. I'm going to read a little excerpt in a second from his book that I picked up. But this guy's a magician. And now I know you're thinking, well, David Blaine's a magician, Chris Angel's a magician, David Copperfield's a magician, or I don't believe in magic, and yada, yada, yada. I get it. But guess what? This guy is a magician like no other. Whether you believe in magic or not, this man... Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention... I forgot. I was talking about he's a magician and all these other magicians. I completely forgot. Jeffrey Smith is blind. He has arthritis that causes his hands to be stuck like this. He has a speech impediment. I could go on and on about these disabilities that outside society wants to label him with, but he's chosen to use this venue as a magician, a blind magician, again, just mind-boggling to think of that, a blind illusionist, multiple arthritis, to share the gospel, his testimony, and his humor to overcome any disabilities ever had. And he lives that motto of to walk by faith and not by sight. So I wanted to share a little bit of the back of his book. I won't read it. I won't read you anything out of the book because I haven't even got a chance to read it yet. But I also have it on CD, so maybe I should just pop it into my car and listen to it. But his book is called Seeing Light in the Darkness. Now, if you want to check him out on YouTube, he's the Amazing Jeffo. That's where you can see some of his stuff. So basically, I just want to share some of the funny stuff in this. First of all, his cover of his book is him driving a car with his walking stick outside the window. It's a convertible top. And he's got a seeing eye dog. And then there's a sign in the background that's one way, but it's going the opposite way of he's driving. It's absolutely, he's just a very funny guy. And again, I'm totally humbled to actually see this in person. But I want to read you like just the story on the back here, just to see if this inspires you as much as it has been inspiring me. So, it says, what happens when light collides with dark? If you're Jeffrey Smith, laughter erupts. A compelling memoir by America's only blind, multi-disabled magician. How life-threatening disease and disability ignited healing, laughter, and faith. Smith humorously chronicles his battles with catastrophic colitis, crippling rheumatoid arthritis, total blindness, and a severe speech impediment. Join him in practical jokes on his nurses, wheelchair races, on the hospital floor, gambling in economics class, and using a magic trick to propose to his wife. Rather than wallow in despair, Jeff has chosen to focus on what is possible in his life. The result? A 20-year career as a magician and motivational speaker. More than 3,000 shows and presentations, national engagements, and in international media coverage in radio, print, and television. His secret? Irreverent humor and faith. Smith shares the perspectives, principles, and practical strategies he used to triumph over seemingly impossible circumstances to provide others with hope in difficult situations. Who is this book for? Everyone. If you've been discouraged, you've been judged unfairly by others, you've judged others unfairly, you've been afraid to dream, and need a nudge, this book is for you, and simply for anyone who enjoys being entertained. What more do I need to say? Go out there. Shine a light, a positive light. Darkness runs from the light. Darkness can't comprehend the light. I know oftentimes people think I'm way too excited all the time. I'm way too joyful. But guess what? That's Christ. That's the Holy Spirit living in me in full color. That's the light that's shining out for me. Again, I want to always shine so others might see Him through me. Then others say, oh, look at what Tony's doing. I want others to see Christ in me. And I am inspired every day to continue to motivate people. I'm inspired every day to continue to share the good news in a fun way with everybody I interact with to some degree, whether it's the hat I'm wearing, you probably can't see it, but it's John 14:6 that says the way, the truth, and the life, or it's the shirt I'm wearing that may, just for example, yesterday being Star Wars Day, may the 4th be with you, if for those of you that don't know what Star Wars Day means, but I had gotten a shirt that had Yoda on it, and it said, may the Lord be with you, so that's a conversation starter for me. So whatever way you're sharing your light, whether it's through the work you do, whether it's just opening a door for someone, holding a door open for somebody, helping somebody to their car, just being genuinely generous with your time or your money for giving to your church, or it's whatever it is, being respectful to your parents. There's so many ways that you can shine your light and just completely wash out all this darkness that's out there. So that's my call, that's my challenge out to you, the viewers, to shine your light in a positive way, in a godly way. And rest assured that your light will be seen. And who knows, Some others may ask you, what's going on with you? That's just God at work. So, I know you're thinking how crazy it is that I can try to relate something from a book written 2,000 years ago, but guess what? This stuff is still new. The truths are new in this every single day. It's amazing how relevant much of this still is. You should don't judge a book by its cover. You should open it once in a while and find out there's more truth in here that you'll see on a TV, hear on the radio, or anything else. This is the book of truth. This is the good book. That truths are always new. So, with that, it's been another edition of All About Me, motivation, innovation, inspiration for you, and you, and you, and you. I'm Tony Taylor, so please, continue to shine your light, and I'll continue to do my best to shine my light for all of you to see Him through me. Have a good night.